Hello, everyone. It's pretty hot out there. It's like 103 or so. Obviously, I've been out for a little walk. I wanted to share a collective message. Well, my message. I guess that's better. So let's talk about the one who hurt you. In my case, he couldn't really hurt me. Neither could all of his guys. Yeah, I shed some tears. Oh well, they feel good. There's all some anger, because growing up, I don't know, like many of us, especially after we've been abused or hurt, we learn to keep it all in. Afraid to speak up. Afraid because they'll use everything we say and do against ourselves, against us. So most everyone who has gone through serious trauma just bottles it up and then finds somebody to take it out on. And it's ideal if they got somebody they can take it out on all the time and check in on whenever they want to. I mean, shit, how much better could it get than that, right? That's not healthy for anybody, especially the person that's bottling it up, that in that case would look like the narcissist. And a lot of times it's the leader of the family, or the one with the money, or it can be, a lot of times it can be the woman. Because, and at the same time, a lot of times it can be the man. Ultimately, it's everyone. Everyone has to find positive ways to get through the struggle and become a better part as the whole in the world for everyone. Ultimately, for number one, but no, you can't be number one unless you care about everything else too. But there's no 1 and 2 magic trick in that bullshit, right? It's really kind of the same thing, but it takes a long time, it seems, for the mind to wrap around that. When the mind's all this fungi, it's the fungi that's in there, and you can put on a headband, but they'll just absorb some of the sweat, and your makeup will still run. So let's do a short reading here. For you. First of all, let's can't remember if these ones are called the karma cards or what. I just grabbed the first deck. Oh. Well, I had something to say, but let's start with one. My fingers are black. Not this hand so much. So, my higher self, my own, each has their own deity that you work with, and it's kind of like a race. Like, for instance, like you meet somebody, and when you're in the moment, like shake hands, you talk real quick, and then you go on, and then later on at home, you're like, huh, and then whatever they said, you put 2 and 2 together, right? Certain things start coming up in the mind. And whether those things are true or not, you don't know. Always. And sometimes they are. But regardless, what is our own intuition trying to teach us? It's not a competition against everybody we listen to each day or talk to or everyone we meet, and that's where like the news can be really dangerous. Because what does that have to do with anything? Most of the time, it changes. One day they say this, and the next day they say something else. And we can catch ourselves doing that sometimes too. And then when it's not intentional lying, then we have to correct ourselves. Course correction. There's no such thing as a mistake unless it was done like purposefully to get at somebody, to hurt somebody, to take an advantage. Sometimes, like, walk out of the store and you get out and you're like, oh, they forgot to ring me up. Or he gave me back too much change. And the weird thing I'm starting to learn is about being too honest. At the same time as I guess that's a blessing that I've received. Because how are you going to hold something against somebody that's just a child that just speaking their mind? And how are you going to tell them and force them, don't say that, don't do that? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Dad. Because in the long run, the child's going to be the one that teaches you. And you either teach a child, and whatever you teach a child, the child's going to go along with blindly or automatically go against it. And then have to find a conflict and be like, oh, well, who am I? Who am I? And so it's important, I think, for parents not to be too strict, especially in telling children, well, you have to do this. You have to never do that, because that's a dangerous thing, because each has their own individuality. And two cards that fell out. I didn't even get to what I want to say yet, but we'll get to that. It's Uranus, the genius. It starts with you, the 21, that the mind too contains itself upon itself. And ultimately, it shouldn't be a trick that we're playing upon others. Secondly, we get to focus on the 10th house. Oh, no, it's the first. Excuse me there. On the first house, the body. And sure, it's the physical body, but that's just body. The body has to do with incorporating the mind, the spirit, all the things we've understood or are trying to understand into one comprehensive being that we are. And the image on this is a celestial being standing there with a staff, like the one of wands or something. Angel wings. And everyone and the other celestial beings admiring the one just standing there. But the odd thing is how all these other three beings, these two that are closer, are bowing in reverence, and the one down at the bottom, when you look at the card directly, you see that there's one person here. Now you can see it better with his hand up. But at first glance, like this, it looks like a man is laying down here. And the celestial being is standing on top of him. And I look at this. This guy looks kind of like Jesus. And he's at the bottom, looking up at you when you made yourself into something. And making yourself doesn't have anything to do with that bank account. It really doesn't have anything to do with that career or anything. Ultimately, it has to do with carrying oneself, how you carry yourself all the time, wherever you go. I believe. Oh yes. So, getting ahead of myself. So, during COVID, I had this one thing in my higher self, however you want to speak of, each his own God. It has to balance against everyone else around and all the forces to be. Had me do, ironically, because I knew who was perpetrating against me, whether I did or I didn't. God had me do this. They're trying to force some kind of change upon me and get me to submit to what? Who am I submitting to? For what reason? There's nobody around, but I know that there's people around. You can feel those things. And while I'm starving, no matter what, no matter how hard it got, I needed something, some kind of stress relief. And so smoking was really all I had, especially to get through the hunger pains and stuff and to carry me through the next day. And I see how Spirit was taking out divine anger against those who come up against me, and was already setting them up for failure in the future and proving God's existence in a greater sense for each and every person. At nighttime, usually, I would go walk through town, hit 2-3 mile walk. I'd go to all the butt cans of town, and I had a Ziploc bag in my backpack, and I'd dump all the cigarette butts in there. And then I'd come home, sit home in my empty house, where everything that I couldn't take with me, if I had somebody to come get me, which I didn't, because everyone in the world abandoned me, other than those that were trying to hurt me or get me to do something. So I had all my stuff just stacked up in one spot, enough that I knew, okay, this could fit in a truck or a van or something, if there was a way to get out of here. And sat at the desk that I couldn't take with me, and I ran a cord. I didn't have any power. I mean, water was free, so you couldn't take the water from me, but that's all I had. Ran an extension cord out the window, plugged it in the outside, the utility outlet, because that you can't turn off the power there, because it's for, for mowing and weed eating and whatever, so that's a separate breaker. And I'd cut pages out of the Bible, and I'd roll those cigarettes up, and the tobacco that I took out of everybody else's butts that they cast off, roll it up in them Bible pages, 8 cigarettes per page, and I smoked it. I smoked that mother effort. And all who were against me, right up in their mother effing faces. Well, I'm out of money, and I didn't even want to see my family over the last few days. And I know that if I ask for anything, they probably won't give it to me. Or I'll feel guilty for asking, because I've been trained, like most people who are abused, not to ask for anything, because everybody will hold it against you. And they'll do anything for anybody else, even if the other person that comes up blows all their money on alcohol and this and that and the other thing, and then comes in and goes, "Hey, I need some cigarettes." "Oh, sure, I'll go buy them for you." I come in, "Nope, sorry." That's weird. I don't even cost any money. I don't even have any money. I give everything I have. Everything I witness, everything I do. I just suffer in silence. I give it back to everyone, in hopes that someday I'll die. Or forgiven's not the right word, because there's no reason anybody needs to It's kind of weird, because I haven't done anything wrong. Anything supposedly wrong I was allowed to do. Otherwise I would be in trouble. But I'm not in trouble. And I gave it all right back. And I'm still holding on to it for everyone to see. So there's my case. And my love. 1551. And everything that I could possibly do with it. Honestly told on myself. I gave everything I came up with. I did it all for you. I did it all for me. I did it all in service and sacrifice to God. Best I could do. Also, over the last few days, I had a bag of tobacco. So I've been doing the same thing out of my Masonic Bible, specifically. I think we're about a third of the way through it. Hopefully I won't have to smoke the whole damn thing. It's pretty harsh with them with the gold edges on the pages. But hey, God's protecting me. I don't know about everybody else, because everybody else has somebody. But what I really want to say is, I see how, without hurting anybody, because that shouldn't even come into it. If you're like, I want a house, or I want to have 5 kids, or I want $1 million, or whatever it is, I want that $10,000 Coach bag. It should just be, it's just a want, but at the same time, it's not worth taking it from somebody else. It's stealing to get it. Not really. And to hurt somebody and be like, oh, there's a guy, he has a bag with 10,000 in it. Boom. Nobody knew I was here. I run away with the money. No, that's not. It ain't worth that, because what are you going to do? And the next person could just come do that to you too. Especially if you did that first of all. Then divinely speaking, it should happen to you before you get to spend it. But we all know that, that's where God is really a very personal experience. And that's where organized religion, I think, is really taking a turn for the worst. And this focus on Jesus Christ. Because it all comes back to the heart, why we're here, our intention, about love, and giving that and receiving it. But ultimately, I see how all the rules can be bent without hurting anyone and without lying. I see exactly how prosperously, fulfillingly, I could have those 5 wives and have 25 kids, and all of us easily be happy in that situation, more happy than just each having our own house or our own room and as a couple, and then we each have our office, and on every level, on a moral level, because that's not immoral. God didn't tell anybody, well, you can only sleep with one person the rest of your life. And at the same time, yeah, cheating is when you say that you're committed to one person and then go sleep with somebody else. But that's who are like what's going steady. So there's all that. See, the world's been set up this way, so that it's always like, oh, I'm comfortable. Okay, this belongs to me. Now it's mine. Or, oh, well, I got him, but I gotta get it tied up. Or I want to keep him just at the right distance and then screw around on the side. No, no, no. It has to be honesty. And the law is set up against each of us. I mean, why would, once you have all this money and power or whatever, then one of the greatest things that rich people do is wife swap. You really love her? Well, I do really love her, just like you love your dog, or what? And you get to trust a friend to come house sit whenever you're out of town or come take care of your dog. See, love's a lot deeper than that. And so is trust and understanding at the same time as honesty is key. And jealousy is really the root of evil. And ownership is a big problem too. And naturally, women congregate together, and so do children. And women need a babysitter, but they want a woman they can trust. But they all want a man they can respect. At the same time as, once they got them tied down, then the respect starts to fade away. And I think the society and the system is totally inside out. Yeah, and it's just to create more loss than anything. We're in a family like that. 6 people. This is hypothetical. You can't live in $5 million house and have a business as partners. And nobody has to sign any marriage papers. The marriage is in the business. And the agreement is between y'all. And what's not to love about that? Then, instead of having 6 houses or 5 houses and 5 couples with each having 2 cars, see, it's all about the system taking advantage of everyone. And then everybody just plays at each other anyway. And then you got 5 house mortgages, you got 10 car loans. What the hell? And then nobody even has any money anyway. It's all based upon business mathematics of using everybody for interest, and nobody's even interested in anybody, especially the fucking banks. And so it should be all based upon the reverse interest of love and caring about each other. It's the law because it's hugely manipulated and against itself. Like I said before, the cops are the ones that usually push the drugs, and the ones that make sure that they stay in play, and then decide who and when and where they're going to arrest everybody, and who's going to get away with it. Well, then that's a huge fucking conspiracy. That's a crime syndicate. So then, but the cops play both sides. But then, why are they there? The drugs or the cops? Oh, but it's all about protection, just in case. But what if? That's a whole lot of money paid to what if when they're keeping the problems going. Here, let's pull a card for you here. Yeah. It's important each person is able to speak their piece. Now I'm encouraging each person to. This is Lala. The saint of spoken words. Every word I say becomes a prayer. And I'm the author of my own story. Yes, you are. And I came out with the cosmic egg in reverse, the divine feminine. We're busting out of the church because the church exists here, and exists between the ones we love. And it's not a cosmic egg then. It's not a fence. It's our home. And everyone can freely come and go as they choose. God can't imprison all of us. And neither can man. Each of us. I hold the universe within me. I am the force of an ever-expanding love. You are. Once you get grounded into it and know that no one is greater than you are. Nobody is over you. And hopefully, you don't see anyone under you either. Even if there's problems from afar, well, until they get the teeter-totter balances, we can't come over. It's just respect. That's just respect. There's not getting over so that you can disrespect and you can run away and be like, ah! That's stupid. That's stupid. Let's get another oracle. Don't let anybody judge you. You just smoke cigarettes. You drink energy drinks. Whatever. Do what you feel like you should do. Always question what you do to yourself. And work towards a resolution to elevation. You're the sage. Each of us is a yogi, is a sage. And almost always, the ones that are like this, they're the phonies. Not disrespecting anybody in particular, but almost always, they're the leaders. Pretending to be too good. Pretending to have divine knowledge. Pretending. Well, if they have it, then you have it too. So, why are you there? Supporting them. If they're not giving it straight to you back. I mean, I do. I think most of the pastors, and especially the ones that are the gurus that are represented like on YouTube and such, they're the phonies. They don't answer the questions, and it's all about leading everybody around in circles, blah blah blah. You know, they should be comedians, not wisdom teachers. But if it works for them, it works for them. But as soon as anybody wakes up, they leave, and they go become their own guru. And then you know your own lady within, who you are. There's no Adam and Eve, no serpent. You just enjoy the fruits of your labor, which can just be as simple as this. It's a conversation. Enjoy growth, reap rewards. Because know within you, your higher self has this high priestess, this Isis, where each can harness the mystic power, and anything that anyone holds against you, you can transmute and change, and see the brighter side of it. See, one thing that's interesting about vibration I've learned through going through all these different states of being and chemicals and seeing tarot and diving so deep into the letters and number systems and breaking it down and reading it at different speeds and different ways is ultimately whatever vibration you're in. Say, for instance, like if I start drinking, then I can channel really good, especially if it's away from myself, right? Better than like talking. So then, like playlisting. Then I can just run a burnout mark that's like, that's pretty cool. Then I can do it in 5, 10, 20 minutes. When to sit there and listen to everything, it might take you an hour and a half to do it. And then to sit there and analyze and be like, okay, so I think this is, or I'm going to turn it like this or whatever. Like somebody can do that in a second. But that's not transmutation. And that's total misunderstanding. But when I look at it myself, then I can look back at it and go, huh, so what did I say here to me? If I could read it, and I'm like, oh, especially if I read it the next morning or as, in a low vibration, I'll see, oh my God, oh, it's saying this to me. Oh man, that's mean. Oh, it's pointing at me, or it's saying this to them. Oh God, I don't like that. But I was just running on a Silver Surfer burnout. And it's a cool thing that I made, right? But then when you're not on the surfboard and you're standing next to it, then you're like, man, that motherfucker almost blew my doors off. Oh, that was disrespectful. Look, he almost ran over that cat. Or whatever. I mean, that's just a wider way to look at it. But in the details, I'm like, oh, I see it this way. I can sleep on it and wait a couple of days. And then be in good health and restored. And then I reread it. And I'm like, oh, it actually says this other thing. And then all of a sudden, I love it. Regardless, and it's separate from me, but it is me. But it's something divinely made. And that comes down to also how we take what other people say to us or our own words. Like almost always when somebody's in a low vibration and you upset them, they'll use the same languages. All of a sudden, I mean, like I can say motherfucker and fuck you right now, right? But when you're in low vibration, that ego demon, that thing takes over. Even when you're not trying to hurt anybody. And then, the narcissist can turn around on you after they were the ones that harmed you and got you into that state. And if you say or do anything about it, it's like, oh, look, see, that person's crazy. That person's mean. That person's, see, got him. But no. Especially when a trap has been set up. But then as soon as they see they didn't get a hold of you, then that demon comes out in them and they can't get back to that spot. They can't ever go back because they set the situation up. And then the only thing they could do is come and apologize, but they'll never do that because it's proof of the narcissism within and not being able to get one over on somebody. But how are you going to get one over on somebody unless you could level with them? And so then unless you could level with them, then it's always disrespect when you hang around with somebody like that. And so then it's not worth hanging around anybody that's going to trigger you like that and set you up and then come at you once you got one up on them. But everybody, when they get a low vibration, all the bad words. And everybody knows what that feels like. And so you can't really hold anybody against it, especially when they do it in their room by themselves, even if they record it. But when you go out and you take it out on people outside, like people do to me, there's a huge difference there, especially in numbers. Yes. How could I gang up on anybody or a whole bunch of people? Can't even gang up on myself. I need everybody to do it for me. So just so I can help heal their wounds. But they don't ever want to get healed. They want to be like that and steal it. But then, of course, I can say something about anything that anybody could bring up. There's the ego. Like how energy drinks are, and that could be, oh, I see. He doesn't like people who drink energy drinks. No, I just know they're bad for you. I know cigarettes are bad for you too. I smoke cigarettes. We can't hold that against me. You say, yeah, he smokes. Like a chimney. I'll freight train all day. Yeah? Is he a bad person? Does he hurt people? Does he show up? Has he ever done anything to you that you didn't make up? No. Okay. Because like in my red, I've never been in a fair fight. And every single time I've ever been in a fight, the person cheap shot at me. They didn't even look me in the eyes. And just boom! And they always had a group. And it was never just like, you stole my girlfriend. Because I never steal anybody's girlfriend. But you looked at me. Okay. Everybody looks at you. You don't punish. Everybody looks at you. And I can look at you if I want to. Like, there's nothing that anybody could possibly hit me for unless they were absolutely in the wrong. And so they always pull some bullshit. And they always have to have a group. And that shows a low vibrational being where they're each barely supporting each other and needing all these other things to support them, the drugs, the games, the energy drinks, the whatever. And they don't ever give anything back. Like, really give it back. Like this. It's all just consumption, and then the rest of the time they're just going around hiding and taking what they want. And it's totally different from anything that I've done here. So that's why, well, I'm the teacher and the student in my own life. And everyone else can take it however they want to. But if they can't take it, and they can't imitate it. And if they could, well, where's your channel? Huh? Where's your story? Where's your highlight reel? Or is it just the good stuff? Like, you know, the video of you catching a football. Or you being happy the day you got married. Or just the song you made. Where's the other 99% of your existence? It's missing. Mine's not missing. And that's not a comparison, but it's real. What fell out here? So, right now, whatever you're feeling, you're guided to slow down and to think. You're at a changing point in your life. Until you get on yourself and level-headed, says no. Whatever you're thinking, see if that resonates. Wait, postpone, pause. Things take time. And saying no to one thing means you have to say yes to something else. Like yourself. So if you say no to going out or the game or whatever, that's funny. You know what came out next out of the 40 cards in this deck? Say yes to yourself. Just what I'm telling you. Just say yes. Just say yes. Not yes, just say yes. Let that sink in for a little while. I think I'm about ready to end this reading. But let's get a clarifier for you beyond what I've said so far on no and yes. What might you need to say no to, and what might you need to say yes to? outside of what I have just said. Let's see if I know what the yes one is. 8 agrees. Say no to the world, the things out there, and bring it back in. Focus on the simple. Oneself. See, with the eagle, we got the man, with the lion, and what the hell is that? I don't know why I can't think of it. Is that the lamb? It just looks funny. I think it might be the lion and the lamb, the man and the eagle, right? And you got the goddess here with 2 wands. Say no to the rest. Say yes to yourself. I'm going to pull the book on this one before I leave you. Just a little, actually, use my phone. Since I got 3 of them. I just came across a couple songs just the other days where they talked about me having 2 phones. Or, well, why you got 2 phones? I don't know, I got 3 now. Let's see here. Dang it. It seems that you might have a partner that has a bit of a temper. And it's important not to be triggered by it and try to retaliate. But also, it's important to help guide those that do that. It's quick to anger, but also swift to forgive and forget. I could be the poster child for that, but at the same time, as I'm not quick to anger at all. Not normally. Not unless I'm overwhelmed by like millions of things, like I have been at the center of something I didn't ever expect to be at the center of. It's important that we help each other, but also I didn't know that about that card. So it's why I pulled it up. Even though you might feel helpless, and stuck and unmotivated, it's important not to hold that in. Is what this Page of Wands in reverse is signifying. Inverted. It's important to talk about our issues. And sometimes, in some ways, the best way can be exactly like this. And once it's recorded, I mean, it's not really, it is and it isn't. But to have your voice. And also, it puts everyone on their best behavior, where they realize how much they might have hurt you. 4444. And gives them where they would never listen to you normally. They just blow up on you, cut you out, act like you don't exist unless you allow them right back in, so they can be like, oh, I'm so sorry, honey. Here, I'll make you dinner. Oh, here, I'll buy you something. Here, let's go get some ice cream. And then they'll blow up on you again later. Then sometimes that's kind of where the whole this concept of the collective and the self-healing journey comes in. But also the importance of recording our journey and our feelings and elevating ourselves and others through witnessing. Also, it seems to be implying that many of you, if I'm speaking to you, then you in particular, are probably very unhappy with your current profession and your life as it is. And it wasn't exactly what you planned for originally, because you didn't know any better. And you may have been led by the ego or by shiny things or this or that. But at the end of the day, we all want a sense of community. We want to be bathed in honesty and truth and acceptance. We want to be listened to. And we want to listen to others. That's how we grow, by watching each other grow. Taking part in our own healing journey and the journey of others. And so say yes to focusing on creating a new path for yourself. And not being afraid to come out. To post things yourself. Because everyone's right? To have a face instead of just some dollar signs and only show the good stuff. Because that's really shallow. And it also makes people envy you. At the same time as it makes people hate you. For no reason. Ultimately, there's good and bad with everything. You get a dog? Hey, it's great, I got a dog. Yeah, and then that dog's in your fucking way all the time. And you gotta take it out 10 times a day. You still love the dog. You have a baby, it's the same way. You get a girlfriend, it's the same way. You get a house, it's the same way. You get a car, it's the same way. You still gotta put gas in, you still gotta wash it. You still gotta fix it when it breaks down. It still takes up space in the front yard. Anybody could just come by and key it or break into it, even if it was locked. It just becomes a liability, another problem. And so it's best to have less things that we love, unless we love and appreciate every single thing we have. This and this and this turtle shell. I mean, it's finding the beauty in the little things everywhere. For instance, somebody took Sophia from me. Yeah, but did that ruin my life? No. And can I get her back? I can. That's the fucking funny part. I can bring this exact turtle. I have his shell. I can bring him back to life legally. I don't know his name. He was dead before I met him. But I could go and get this exact turtle cloned and raise this turtle like he's my own for the rest of his life. And we can do that with any dead thing. The only thing we can't do it for that is immoral in a lot of ways. That's why it's important for you to take care of yourself, is each other. There's no other. I'm the only Josh. It's this Josh. If there's any other, then he's illegal. And so he needs to be somebody else. And you're the only Jill, Bob, Jack, whoever. And it's besides names. Names doesn't really have to do anything. It has to do with what you contain and love and appreciation and who you are and what you've gone through and all of those things. And really, you can tell. Like if you've been with your spouse, for instance, and you ran into a clone 5 clones, you could tell. Even no matter how perfect they can make that clone, at some point, we making love or whatever, all of a sudden you're like, what? Why don't you do that? Do what? You don't know? And so there's certain ways that we can recognize each other, and nobody can take that away. Just want you to know. Send my love, appreciation, gratitude to everyone, everywhere.